Good morning, everyone. So one of the most asked questions that I get like in my lives, and I haven't made a video about this, I don't think. So anyways, if I have, I'm gonna do like a recap. I get asked all the time, like, what do I do if like a family member or a friend is struggling with like addiction or what have you? Well, that one is like one of the most hardest answers and one of the biggest ones that like is the hardest pill to swallow, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, everyone has free will, right? Like I can't go to someone else and force them to do something, and if you do, they basically resent you, and they usually lash out, or they just don't accept that help. So unfortunately, if anyone in your family members or friends and what have you is struggling with addiction, it's ultimately up to them if they want to change and get the help. Now, there is things that you can do to, like, inspire them. I'm not saying give up on the person either. Like, don't throw your hands up and be like, well, we can't help you. Like, not saying that. At the end of the day is, if someone is struggling that's close to you, and like a friend or family friend or what have you, the biggest thing is you got to get them in the mindset where they want it or they have to get sober. Once they get in that mindset where they want it and have to become sober, then it becomes they become unstoppable, and they'll pursue that, and they will become sober and clean. And I'll give you an example. The perfect person that talks about it as well is Steve-O. Steve-O talks about his addiction, where he went to like the rehab facilities multiple times because everyone's like, hey man, you got a problem, go here. He went there, a couple weeks later, not even day after he got out, he was relapsing. Because ultimately what will happen is, if you don't want it and you don't have to, your mindset is going to be like always thinking like, well, I'll just go, I got to get some. That's why like a lot of like, when people get forced into rehab facilities, like, because it's like a doctor's order or what have you, they usually end up relapsing. Now, I'm not saying there's the odd person that, gets there and then becomes successful because they feel better and then they want to, right? There is the odd person, but ultimately the best thing to do for anyone that is suffering is, like, of course, don't throw your hands up, not help them, but you don't want to like get too involved in their like in their life, in a sense. I forget what you call that, like where you're enabling them, right? Like, you don't want to enable them, and also you don't want to like scare them either, right? Like, you don't want to be like, hey man, if you don't do this, like because like if it was me personally, if anyone came up to me and said, hey man, you got to get sober and clean, personally I'd be like, dude, mind your own business, this is my life, not yours. Like, just mind your own business, right? And like, that was my mindset back then. Obviously it's a lot different now, but when I was in addiction, that was my mindset. And that's usually the mindset of majority of people that are addicted or have addicted personalities. They're usually like, dude, leave me alone. Like, you don't know what's best for me. Like, this is what I want to do with my life. Like, just leave me alone. And also, there's a lot of unhealed trauma and what have you that triggers you to, suffer in